Nirvana is an American grunge band formed by Kurt Cobain and Chris Novoselic on the outskirts of Seattle in the late 1980s, releasing their first studio album, Bleach, in 1989 to pretty decent success, later adding Foo Fighters guitar and lead singer Dave Grohl. Wait, he was a drummer? Anyways, but you know the story after that. Dropping Nevermind, it became one of the most successful albums to date, and dropping the third and last album, In Utero, my personal favorite, and also became a massive success, launching grunge into mainstream music genre.
Word of an untimely death. Kurt Cobain was the lead singer of the group Nirvana.
But years later, in 1994, Kurt was found dead in his home from suicide in Seattle. He was only 27 years old. Of course, theories circulate around his young death, but it's still seen as a tragedy 30 years later, changing the course of how we think people who seem untouchable and practically on top of the world are not invincible. I discovered Nirvana just a week into lockdown. As I was pretty young, of course, school wasn't that hard, so I stayed up and found a song with an interesting title, Rape Me. I was like, wow, that's an interesting title for a song. Later found the most popular song, Deodorant, Oops, I Am Me, and Smells Like Teen Spirit. After that, history was formed. I later got a guitar just to learn these songs. I noticed that the songs are pretty easy to play, that the songs are mainly just power chords. These chords are loud and expressive, and mainly consist of 8 chords that show up a ton of his songs. Those are G power chord, the E power chord, an open E, A power chord, D power chord, F power chord, B power chord, and lastly, C power chord. While I still feel like I'm a noob on the guitar, these chords together let me play my favorite songs. There's tons of different examples, but I wanted to learn these songs specifically because they're my favorite and the best. I know my playing was pretty bad, but if you want songs that sound pretty close to original, I recommend listening to Nirvana guitars, who goes in depth from these albums, and using the actual guitars used by the band, and Tom and Dread. I'll put them up on the screen, as these guys are pretty good. They've been fans for as long as I've been alive. While the easiness of these songs doesn't mean Kurt was lazy, so I say the complete opposite. He was a musical genius.
He wrote these really, really simple songs, and he's a great lyricist. His objective was really like make the song as catchy and memorable and simple as possible.
And writing these catchy songs that'll never escape your head. As the theme of his music, power chords, these notes on their own sound catchy, but learning how to put all these together is the hardest part. In my eyes, it shows how really anyone can pick up a guitar and form a band. And that's what Kurt enjoyed the most. Since there's many clips of Kurt shredding or playing complex songs, as a Beatles fan growing up, he enjoyed the simplicity of it, showing the beauty of music without needing to learn to shred like the bands of the time, like Metallica and many other examples.
I am Chris.
And I am Kurt.
And I am Dave.
As of course, I was never thought my parents said during the age of grunge, but through YouTube, I can see how Kurt acted with Dave and Chris, being a really playful guy. Kinda reminded me of that goofy kid everyone loves. But Chris and Kurt go all the way back to high school. Kurt actually dropped out of high school and worked as a janitor in the exact same high school. A cool fact out of the day. Anyway, instead of these guys acting like business partners, they acted like friends. While going to a concert, you'll get a show since their act was destroying the guitars at the end of the concerts. As these guys would go to flea markets or thrift stores with these guitars, supporting small businesses on the way, which was their motto, as they understood how it was a struggle. The saddest part is you can really see how much Kurt meant to these guys. It really hurt these guys' soul within.
He wasn't really the tortured artist, like the sulking, tortured person. Like, he was really funny person.
Lose someone, especially in that way, there's just so many questions. You're just left with this void and all of these.
But with time, it heals slowly, sharing their favorite stories and times with him. And I think that's what Kurt honestly wants to do with his music and his friends, and of course he left behind his daughter. Well, of course, the second most important part of the music is what these songs have in store. Since through the catalog of Nirvana, the messages he put in these songs are also a good thing to look at, since Kurt loved making fun of people and groups, while also what he's fighting for. Since a little piece of background, Kurt was a feminist and fought for female rights. So just a couple of jabs of certain groups of people who just listen to Nirvana just for the catchy tune. For example, the lyrics of In Bloom.
Likes all our pretty songs, and he likes to sing along, and he likes to shoot his gun, but he knows not what it means.
And that's hilarious. Like, imagine making fun of certain parts of your fan base, showing how people are just shallow and just listen to what's new and hot, and of course challenging the masculine norm with the shooting gun part. But there's also many songs like this, or songs that show feminism, such as Polly, Rape Me, despite the title, Sappy, and of course, Been a Sun, all trying to break that female stereotype of the 90s. Even more importantly, those bands before grunge, like those of Guns N' Roses, everything Kurt disliked, showing the type of person he was. Despite not being a fighter, being a skinny blonde guy, he fought with his songs and a strong personality, which to me made him a strong figure despite his stature. While relating that on a fundamental level, as also I'm also a pretty skinny guy, but I don't need to be big. I can use my voice like I'm using now through platforms like YouTube or many other things online where I can be heard. This might not be the best written songs. These three albums all mean something to me. More of an introduction to his type of music, shaping what I like to enjoy now, that being that good stuff. People might not agree, but it's good. When Nirvana will always have a soft spot in my heart, then it's what I like and continue to enjoy for the foreseeable future. I know the information I said is pretty well known, but I wanted to write something passionate about the things I enjoy, since that's what I want to direct this channel more towards. This is my previous video. I wanted to bring up that type of info. But on the other hand, if a person wants to get into Nirvana, but they seem like they're scared because sometimes the people in the fan bases, they like to gatekeep, especially on Reddit. Just let it happen. It's because they're wearing a Nirvana shirt, only know one song. It's not really affecting you at all. But thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want.